Hello everybody and welcome to another exciting cooking session with Whole Nourishment. We are here in our open kitchen and we are trying to make lentil and butternut squash soup. It's an anti-inflammatory soup with a lot of beautiful ingredients. We are going to use butternut squash that is high in beta carotene. We're going to use lentil that is high in protein, and we're going to use a lot of fun ingredients. Stay tuned. I'm going to show you all the ingredients and we're going to get cooking. Two more things: you need a pot and a pan to cook the butternut squash and the lentil, and you need the Vitamix or NutriBullet to pulse it down. If you want a smooth consistency, you can also use a hand blender. The choice is yours, but let's make the butternut squash soup because it's really delicious and waiting for us. Let's introduce you to the ingredients. We need 1 cup of chopped onion. We need 1 tablespoon of coconut oil. We need 8 cups of vegetable stock. You can make homemade stock if you wanted to. We also need 1 butternut squash, peeled and cut into cubes. We need 2 cloves of garlic, chopped and grated, and 1 tablespoon of ginger. We need 1 teaspoon of cumin powder or ground cumin, and we need 1/4 teaspoon of nutmeg powder. We also need 4 to 5 tablespoons of coconut milk, 2 cups of lentil. I've soaked the lentil. As I've said in the other episode, you must soak your legumes and lentils to get rid of the phytic acid. So overnight soaking is highly recommended. I have a cup of watercress. And lastly, I'm going to use salt to taste and curry powder 1 tablespoon. Hopefully this is all going to come together to a beautiful pot of soup that we are going to roast first, and then we are going to put it in a blender and make it smooth. I'm going to use 1 tablespoon of coconut oil and let it melt. So once you melt the coconut oil, make sure it's coated in the pan properly and nicely. I'm going to add the onions. You must cook the onions until it's translucent. So not make it brown or truly deep fried. It's just a little bit of translucent that you need. So spread it out nicely and evenly. And close the lid and let it cook for 2 to 3 minutes. So here we are. The onions are translucent. Just gonna give it a little stir. This is what's gonna make the soup a little bit sweeter. We're going to add the garlic and the ginger. Mix it really well. And now the smell is coming really wild. If you don't like onion, you can also use leeks, and that will give a nice flavor as well. So this is how it looks at this point. All I'm going to do right now is add the butternut squash. And the lentil. And the lentil is going to give it this soupy texture. Mix it really, really well, so that it's coated with all the ginger and the garlic. This is a good thing actually. This pot is very comfortable to make this soup because it's spread out. I can see how the lentils and the butternut squash is coating really well. So right now I'm going to add all the spices. We've got cumin. Spread it out. And cumin is amazing for digestion. So anytime you add cumin, you know that the food is going to be better digested. A little bit of nutmeg. Nutmeg and butternut squash goes really well together. So we put it in there. Going to use the curry powder. This has a lot of turmeric in it, so that you get the flavor out of that. I'm going to add my salt. Stir in really well. I don't know if you can see this. This looks absolutely gorgeous. Make sure all the spices are coated. There we go. There we go. Once you have the squash and the lentils coated with all the spices, add the vegetable stock. I'm not going to use water just because the vegetable stock will have enough liquid in it. And it's going to cook the lentil and the butternut squash. Fill it up. If you have homemade vegetable stock, that's great. I try to buy a low sodium one from Whole Foods. There we go. Cover the whole thing. Nice and easy. Put the lid back on and let it cook for at least 20 minutes. Once it's cooked, we will put it in the Vitamix and make it smooth. So here we are. And this is cooked to perfection. Look at that. The lentils are cooked properly. The butternut squash is cooked properly. And the liquid is still there. All I'm going to do now is put it in the Vitamix and make it smooth. Add some coconut milk to it and garnish it with watercress. Stay tuned and we'll show you the final product. We're now ready to pour the soup inside the Vitamix. Alright. It's okay with the Vitamix to put in a little bit of hot soup. Just make sure you don't fill it up to the max. I'm going to probably do it in 2 batches. There we go. Enough liquid. One more. Put it on the mortar. And just make sure that this is tightly locked. You don't want the soup to be all over the place. Look at that. So beautiful. Just gonna pour it in the bowl. It's very thick in consistency. If you want to add water, you can. I like it thick, so I would probably be okay with this. And I'm just gonna add coconut cream, coconut water, sorry, milk. There we go. And a little bit of watercress. And voila, you have your anti-inflammatory butternut squash lentil soup. It's delicious. Try it out with different kinds of breads. And let us know what you feel about this recipe. Post down in the below and leave a comment. And we'll see you in another episode of Whole Nourishment.